The ultimatum. The Galactic Council chamber resembled a massive amphitheater carved from luminescent crystal, its translucent walls shifting between deep blues and purples, as if breathing with the collective emotions of the assembled delegates. Suspended in the center was a holographic representation of the known universe, thousands of star systems glittering like jewels in the darkness, territorial boundaries marked in various colors. Captain Ilara Chen straightened her formal United Earth uniform as she entered the chamber, her posture betraying none of the anxiety churning in her stomach. At 38, she was young to serve as Earth's primary representative, but her experiences during first contact and the subsequent diplomatic missions had made her uniquely qualified. She caught her reflection in one of the polished crystal surfaces. Her close-cropped black hair showed a few premature gray strands, souvenirs from the stresses of her position. "You look like you're walking into an execution, not a council meeting," murmured Dr. Venkat Sharma, Earth's chief xenobiologist and her closest advisor. His dark eyes sparkled with amusement beneath bushy eyebrows. "Well, the agenda mentions concerns about human expansion, so it might just be an execution," Ilara replied with a tight smile. The truth was that humanity had every reason to be concerned. In the 20 years since first contact, Earth had transformed itself. The introduction of alien technologies had accelerated human development by centuries. Clean energy, advanced medicine, faster than light travel. Humanity had absorbed and improved upon each gift with astonishing speed. What other species had taken millennia to develop, humans had mastered in decades. And that made some council members very nervous. "The Vrexians have been gathering support," Venkat whispered as they took their seats at the crescent-shaped human delegation table. 3 more species joined their coalition yesterday. Ilara nodded slightly, her eyes scanning the chamber. The Vrexians were impossible to miss. Tall, reptilian beings with iridescent scales that shifted color with their moods. Currently, their leader, High Counselor Drazkor, displayed a pattern of deep crimson and amber, colors of aggression and resolve in Vrexian culture. The council moderator, a gaseous entity named Zhou, who floated within a containment field, began the session with the equivalent of clearing their throat, a brief dimming and brightening of their nebulous form. "We convene the 4,392nd session of the Galactic Council." Zhou melodic voice filled the chamber. Today's primary agenda: addressing concerns regarding Earth's accelerated technological advancement and territorial expansion. Ilara suppressed a sigh. This was going to be worse than she thought. High Counselor Drazkor rose immediately, his 7-foot frame dominating the space around him. The chamber fell silent. "Esteemed colleagues," his voice rumbled, translator implants conveying his speech to each species in their native language. "For 12,000 cycles, our collective civilizations have maintained peace through careful balance. We share technologies when appropriate. We expand when agreed upon. We respect the natural order of development." Drazkor's scales rippled with patterns of deep red as he turned to face the human delegation directly. "Then there are the humans." Holographic displays activated around the chamber, showing Earth's progress over the last 2 decades. The images were selected to appear threatening. Earth's defense fleet, now the 3rd largest in the galaxy. Research facilities where human scientists improved upon alien designs. Colonies established on 17 worlds in just 15 years. In a mere 20 of their years, a heartbeat in cosmic time, they have achieved what took most of us millennia. They have modified our technologies in ways we hadn't considered. They have expanded to 17 colonies when their treaty allowed for 5. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Ilara kept her expression neutral, though her hands tightened beneath the table. "And now," Drazkor continued, "our intelligence reports that human scientists have developed a method of utilizing quantum entanglement for instantaneous communication across unlimited distances, technology that would render our current galactic communication network obsolete. This caused genuine alarm. The current network, controlled by a consortium of the oldest council species, took light days to transmit messages across the galaxy. instantaneous communication would revolutionize everything from trade to warfare. Furthermore, Drazkor's voice rose. They have been experimenting with dimensional phase technology, something explicitly forbidden under Council safety protocols. Now the chamber erupted in concerned voices. Dimensional phasing had been banned after catastrophic experiments by the ancient Galactic civilization had destroyed 3 star systems. Ilara stood, waiting for the moderator to acknowledge her. The representative from Earth may respond, Zhou-Xan announced, their gaseous form pulsing with what might have been curiosity. Thank you, moderator. Ilara's voice was calm and measured. High Counselor Drazkor raises valid points about humanity's rapid advancement. We do not deny our progress, nor our enthusiasm for innovation. She gestured, and her own holographic displays activated, showing Earth's contributions. Medical technologies that had saved billions across 17 species, terraforming techniques that had restored damaged ecosystems on 32 planets, clean energy systems that had replaced polluting technologies on over 40 worlds. However, I must correct several mischaracterizations. Our colonial expansion has occurred only in systems designated as open for settlement by Council Charter, Section 7. We have violated no territorial boundaries. She paused, looking directly at Drazkor. As for our research into quantum entanglement communications and dimensional phasing, yes, we study these phenomena, as do at least 6 other Council species according to published research journals. The difference is that we've made our findings transparent and available to all Council members. This caused a stir, particularly among the Phyrexians, whose scales briefly flashed patterns of surprise before settling back into aggressive reds. Drazkor's voice cut through the murmurs. Transparency does not excuse recklessness. The humans advance too quickly, without the wisdom that comes with time. They are children playing with stellar fire. He raised a clawed hand dramatically. The Phyrexian Empire, along with the Jotun Collective, the Medusan Hierarchy, and 12 other sovereign powers, hereby formally demand that humanity surrender all advanced research in dimensional technology, limit their colonial expansion, and place their military forces under Council oversight for a period of no less than 100 Earth years. The chamber fell into stunned silence. What Drazkor proposed wasn't simply regulation. It was essentially reducing Earth to a protectorate status, stripping away sovereignty. Ilara felt her heart hammering, but kept her voice steady. And if Earth refuses these demands? Drazkor's scales shifted to a deep, midnight blue, a color Ilara had never seen on a Phyrexian before. Then the coalition I represent will have no choice but to ensure compliance through direct intervention. The Phyrexian battle fleet, along with our allies, stands ready to secure Earth's cooperation. You have 7 Earth days to communicate your decision. With that, he sat down, leaving the chamber in chaos. Back in the privacy of the Earth delegation's chambers, Ilara paced while her team processed what had happened. They're bluffing, Admiral Kazuo Tanaka, Earth's military attaché, declared firmly. Even with their coalition, they couldn't risk open conflict. The Council's peacekeeping forces would intervene. Would they? Dr. Sharma questioned, his expression grave. The Phyrexians have carefully built this coalition. They have members from all the Council's major voting blocs. Ilara stopped pacing. It doesn't matter if they're bluffing. We need to prepare as if they aren't. She activated the secure quantum link to Earth, one of the very technologies that had so alarmed the Council. The face of President Sophia Okafor appeared, her expression already grim. We saw the transmission, Captain. The Security Council is meeting now. Madam President, I believe the threat is credible. Drazkor has been building to this for years. He's genuinely afraid of how quickly we're advancing. President Okafor nodded slowly, perhaps with good reason. The Defense Department has been developing applications for phase technology that we haven't disclosed to the Council. Ilara felt a chill. Military applications. Defensive only, but yes. Project Aegis was fast-tracked after the Phyrexians began their coalition building last year. Ilara closed her eyes briefly. If we deploy untested dimensional technology, we risk confirming their worst fears about us. And if we don't, we risk becoming a subjugated world, the president countered. The Security Council is unanimous. We will not surrender our sovereignty. Then we have 7 days to prevent a war, Ilara said quietly. The president's expression hardened. Not quite, Captain. We have 7 days to prepare for one. The next week passed in a blur of diplomacy and preparation. Ilara met with every council species not aligned with the Phyrexian coalition, making Earth's case, seeking support or at least neutrality. Some were sympathetic. Most were too afraid of Phyrexian power to openly oppose them. Meanwhile, Earth activated its emergency protocols. The colonial fleets were recalled to defensive positions. Civilian populations on outlying colonies were evacuated to core worlds. The Aegis system, whatever it was deployed to key strategic locations. On the 7th day, Ilara returned to the council chamber. The tension was palpable, the usual diplomatic chatter replaced by anxious silence. High Counselor Drazkor didn't waste time on formalities. Has Earth reached a decision? Ilara stood, feeling the weight of billions of lives on her shoulders. Earth has considered your demands carefully, High Counselor. We recognize the concerns about rapid technological advancement and the potential for destabilization. She took a deep breath. However, we cannot and will not surrender our sovereignty, limit our peaceful expansion within Council guidelines, or halt research that benefits not just humanity but all sentient life. Drazkor's scales rippled with dark satisfaction, as if her answer was exactly what he had expected, perhaps even hoped for. Then you leave us no choice. The Coalition fleet has already departed for the Sol system. Earth will be secured and your dangerous technologies contained. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Moving before the deadline had expired was a flagrant violation of Council protocol, and a clear indication that the Phyrexians had never intended to negotiate in good faith. But Ilara had expected this. Her expression remained calm as she addressed not Drazkor, but the entire Council. In light of this unprovoked act of aggression against a sovereign Council member, Earth invokes Article 9 of the Founding Charter, the right of self-defense through all necessary means. She turned back to Drazkor, her voice taking on a steel edge. High Counselor, your fleet will find Earth prepared. And I regret to inform you that your homeworld will soon be receiving visitors as well. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across Drazkor's scales. What nonsense is this? Your fleets are no match for our coalition. Ilara smiled, though there was no warmth in it. When threatened, humans have an unfortunate tendency to reveal our best innovations in the worst possible ways. You've been so focused on what we've shown you that you never considered what we haven't. She turned and walked from the chamber, leaving behind a stunned silence and a suddenly very concerned High Counselor. The battle for Earth's future had begun. The Risi-Keoning. The Phyrexian fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, a vast armada of over 300 warships arranged in perfect formation. Leading them was the Dominion, High Counselor Drazkor's personal command vessel, and the pride of the Phyrexian Empire, a leviathan of dark metal stretching nearly 5 kilometers from bow to stern. On its bridge, Fleet Commander Shezra studied the tactical displays with 6-fingered hands clasped behind his back. His scales shimmered with anticipation as sensors mapped the human defenses. Pathetic, he murmured. The humans had positioned their meager fleet of 67 ships in a defensive shell around Earth, with smaller squadrons protecting Mars and the lunar colonies. It was exactly what the tactical simulations had predicted. A conventional defense against overwhelming numbers. High Counselor, Shezra announced, human defenses are as expected. They've recalled their colonial fleets, but their numbers remain vastly inferior. We'll break through their lines with minimal losses. Drazkor, seated in his command throne, didn't share his commander's confidence. The human representative's parting words had disturbed him more than he cared to admit. Proceed with caution, Commander. The humans are unpredictable. With respect, High Counselor, there's nothing unpredictable about mathematical certainty. Our coalition outnumbers them 5-1. The High Counselor's scales rippled with irritation. And yet in every simulation we've run, there remains a 5% probability of catastrophic failure, a number our analysts cannot explain. Shezra dismissed this concern with a gesture. Margin of statistical error, nothing more. Signal the fleet to advance, Drazkor ordered, but maintain full shields and be prepared for unorthodox tactics. The massive coalition armada began its stately progress toward Earth, weapon systems charging, fighters launching from carrier base, a display of overwhelming force meant to intimidate. But the human fleet didn't retreat. On the bridge of the UES Defiant, Admiral Helena Reyes watched the approaching armada with outward calm that belied her inner tension. A veteran of Earth's early skirmishes with pirate fleets in the outer colonies, she had never faced odds like this. Status of Aegis, she asked her tactical officer. Dimensional anchors are stable at all 12 focal points, Admiral. Phase generators at 98% capacity. We're ready. Reyes nodded. And our guests. Observer vessels from 7 neutral council species are in position to witness, as requested. Good. Reyes straightened in her command chair. Open a channel to the Phyrexian flagship. The reptilian face of Commander Shezra appeared on the view screen, his scales patterned with confident amber hues. Human vessel, he began condescendingly. You are outmatched and outgunned. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will only. This is Admiral Helena Reyes of United Earth Defense. You are in violation of Council Charter by entering restricted space with hostile intent. Withdraw your forces immediately. Shezra's scales flashed with amusement. Or what, human? You'll destroy yourselves against our shields. No, Reyes replied calmly. We'll show you why challenging humanity was your gravest mistake. She cut the transmission and turned to her communications officer. Signal all ships. Execute Aegis Protocol. Across the human fleet, crews activated the mysterious Aegis system. To the watching Phyrexians, nothing seemed to happen at first. Their sensors detected unusual energy readings from 12 points in space around the Sol system, but no weapons fired, no shields raised. Then reality itself seemed to hiccup. One moment, the coalition fleet was advancing in perfect formation. The next, a third of their ships simply vanished. On the Dominion's bridge, chaos erupted as tactical displays went haywire. What happened? Drazkor demanded, rising from his command throne. Where are our ships? Unknown, High Counselor. Shezra's scales had paled to ash gray. 112 vessels just disappeared from our sensors. Impossible. Drazkor slammed a clawed fist into a console. Nothing can. A communication channel opened automatically, revealing Captain Ilara Chen's face on every screen throughout the coalition fleet. High Counselor, she said with remarkable composure, what you're experiencing is a limited demonstration of dimensional phase technology, specifically, our ability to selectively transport objects across dimensional boundaries. Drazkor's scales rippled with horror as understanding dawned. You've sent our ships to another dimension. A pocket dimension, to be precise. They're unharmed but contained. Unlike the Calyx disaster you referenced in the Council, our phase technology is perfectly controlled and targeted. On a secondary screen, footage appeared showing the missing Phyrexian ships floating in what appeared to be a strange, misty void, intact, but effectively removed from the battle. This was merely the first demonstration, Ilara continued. The second is currently taking place at the Phyrexian homeworld. With trembling hands, Shezra activated a long-range communication channel to Phrex Prime. The image that appeared froze the blood in his veins. Hovering in orbit around the Phyrexian homeworld was a single human vessel, small, sleek, and previously unknown to Phyrexian intelligence. Surrounding it were 12 small satellites, each emitting a distinctive energy signature identical to what had just removed a third of the coalition fleet. How? Drazkor whispered. "We were monitoring all your ships. Quantum entanglement drives," Ilara explained. "Another technology we've perfected. That ship didn't need to travel through normal space to reach your homeworld." Admiral Rice's face replaced Ilara's on the screen. "You have 30 seconds to order all coalition forces to stand down and withdraw, or we will create a dimensional pocket around your homeworld's atmosphere. Your people will survive, but they'll be cut off from the rest of the galaxy until we decide to restore them." Drazkor sagged back into his command throne, scales fading to pale blue, the Phyrexian color of defeat. "You've had this capability all along," he realized. "You could have used it against any of us, at any time." "Yes," Admiral Rice confirmed. "But unlike you, we understand the responsibility that comes with power." 20 seconds, High Counselor. With a gesture of surrender, Drazkor gave the order. Throughout the massive coalition fleet, weapons powered down and engines reversed course. 1 week later, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The chamber was packed beyond capacity, representatives from even the most reclusive species in attendance to witness the unprecedented proceedings. High Counselor Drazkor stood before the assembly, his usual imposing presence diminished by the outcome of his failed gambit. His scales displayed a solemn gray as he formally renounced the coalition's actions and accepted personal responsibility for the violation of Council Charter. When he finished his statement, Captain Ilara Chen took the floor. The chamber fell completely silent. "The events of the past week have demonstrated something that Earth had hoped would never require such dramatic proof," she began. "Humanity does not seek dominance. We seek collaboration. We develop technologies not to control or threaten, but to advance all sentient life." She activated a holographic display showing the technical specifications for the Aegis system. "Earth will be providing full documentation of our dimensional phase technology to the Council Science Division, along with safety protocols and ethical guidelines for its use. We believe that with proper oversight, this technology can revolutionize everything from space travel to environmental restoration." Murmurs of astonishment spread through the chamber. No species had ever voluntarily shared such advanced technology. Additionally, Ilara continued, "We are establishing an open technology exchange program. Any Council species may send scientists to Earth to work alongside human researchers on projects of mutual benefit." She turned to face Drazkor directly. "High Counselor, humans have a saying, 'The best revenge is living well.' We don't seek retribution for your actions against us. Instead, we invite Phyrexian scientists to be among the first participants in our exchange program. Perhaps by working together, we can address the fears that led to this conflict." Drazkor's scales shifted to a pattern never before seen in the council chamber, bands of thoughtful blue interspersed with hopeful green. "The Phyrexian Empire accepts this unexpected offer," he replied formally. "And I personally extend my gratitude for your mercy toward my homeworld." As the council session concluded, Ilara found herself approached by the moderator, Zhogsen, whose gaseous form pulsed with what she had learned to recognize as profound interest. In all my centuries moderating this council, Zhogsen's melodic voice was pitched for her ears alone. I have never witnessed a species respond to aggression with opportunity. You could have demanded reparations, territorial concessions, even Drazkor's removal from the council. Ilara smiled. That would only have confirmed his fears about us, wouldn't it? That humans are dangerous, power-hungry, unpredictable. And are you not? Zhogsen queried. Oh, we're definitely unpredictable, Ilara admitted. And when threatened, extremely dangerous. But power-hungry. She shook her head. Humanity learned long ago, through our own bloody history, that domination is far less rewarding than cooperation. She gazed around the chamber at the diverse species mingling, already discussing the implications of Earth's technology sharing initiative. Besides, she added with a hint of mischief, if you want to see truly impressive human innovations, wait until you see what we create when we're not being threatened. As she walked away, Elara couldn't help but reflect on how close they had come to disaster. The Aegis system had worked perfectly, but it had been a desperate gamble. Humanity's ultimate bluff in a game with galactic stakes. What the Council would never know was that the dimensional pocket could only have been maintained for 6 hours before collapsing, or that creating it around a planet's atmosphere would have been impossible with current technology. Sometimes, being unpredictable was humanity's greatest advantage, and sometimes mercy was its greatest strength.